Dracula Chapter 3 A Grim Discovery. Passages from Jonathan Harker's journal. May 18. This morning, I went down to look at that room again. Now I felt that I must uncover the truth. Was I dreaming, or did it really happen? But the door is now locked. June 25th. It has always been at night when I have felt I was in danger. I have not yet seen the Count in the daylight. Does he sleep when others wake, so he may be awake when they sleep? If I could only get into his room, but there's no possible way. The door is always locked. Yes, there might be a way, if one dares to take it. Where his body has gone, why may not another body go? I have seen him crawl from his window. Why should I not do the same and go in by his window? I shall risk it. The worst that can happen is death. A man's death is not like a calf's. Heaven may still be open to me. God help me in my task. Some days later, I have made the effort, and with heaven's blessing may have come back safely back to this room. Last night, I went straight to the window on the south side. The stones were big and rough. The mortar between them had been worn away. By going slowly, I was able to make my way to the Count's window. Soon I was standing on the windowsill, opening the window. I slid through the window feet first. The room was empty. It was barely furnished and littered with odd things that seemed never to have been used. Everything in it was covered with dust. At one corner of the room was a heavy door. I found that it led through a stone passage to a circular stairway. The steps were steep. At the bottom was a dark tunnel-like passage. As I went through the passage, I noticed a bad smell that grew closer and stronger as I walked along. At last, I opened a heavy door that stood ajar. I found myself in an old chapel that had evidently been used as a burial place. Inside the chapel were 50 boxes shaped like coffins. Each one was filled with freshly dug earth. In one of the boxes, stretched out on a pile of earth, lay the Count. He was either dead or asleep. I could not say which. His eyes were open and stony, and his lips were as red as ever. But there was no sign of life, no pulse, no breath, no beating of the heart. I fled from the place and left the Count's room by the window. Crawling up the castle wall, I finally reached my own room. Exhausted, I threw myself on the bed and tried to think. June 29th. I was awakened by the Count. He told me that he was going home tomorrow, that I would be going home tomorrow. I do not trust him. I am not sure what he is planning, but I do not believe he will let me go home. After he left my room, I thought I heard a whispering at my door. I softly crept to the door and listened. It was the Count's voice saying, "Back to your own place. Your time has not come yet. Wait, have patience. Tomorrow night is yours." There was a low, sweet ripple of laughter. In a rage, I threw open the door. The Count was gone, but the 3 terrible women were standing there, licking their lips. As I stared at them, they all joined in a horrible laugh. Then they turned and ran away. June 30th, morning. With the dawn, I knew that I was safe. I was determined to get out of the castle today, knowing that the front door would be locked as always. I decided to find the key. Now, I knew where to find the monster who kept the key. The earth-filled box was in the same place. I knew I must search the body for the key. As I looked at the Count, I saw something that filled my soul with horror. Now he looked much younger. The white hair and mustache had become a dark iron gray. His cheeks were fuller. His mouth was redder than ever. On his lips were trickles of fresh blood. I had to search him, or I was lost. I shuddered as I bent to my task, but try as I might, I could not find the key. Then I stopped and looked at the Count's face. His lips seemed to twist in a mocking smile. The truth came over me. This was the being I was helping to transfer to London. There, perhaps for centuries to come, he would satisfy his thirst for blood. Perhaps he would continue to create a new and ever-widening circle of demons to help him. The very thought drove me mad. A frantic desire came upon me to rid the world of this monster. I seized a shovel and aimed it at his head. But as I did so, his eyes turned and gazed at me, full of hate. His evil glare seemed to paralyze me, and I dropped the shovel and ran. In a growing panic, I made my way back to my room. I must get away from this dreadful place. Tonight, I shall climb down the castle wall to the courtyard, and then away for home. If I don't make it, then goodbye, my dearest Mina.